everyone. This is Tamala and Taylor's Treat Talk Tuesday. And if it's Tuesday, you are right here in the right place. Hi, I am Tamala, owner of Torlitas for that sweet and crunchy taste. Torlitas is a dessert company located right here in this great state of Ohio, where we specialize in salty, sweet treats. If you want to know more about me or my business, you can go to @Torlitas. That's T as in Tuesday, ORLITAS. Over to my co-host.
Hello, guys. I am Taylor, owner of Taylor's Kitchen, located right here in Albion, Michigan, where we make custom sweet treats for your special occasion. I can be found on all social media platforms at Sweet Spirit Treats.
Excellent, excellent. So we're coming to you today. We're going to talk about standard operating procedures. How many of you out there, raise your hand or put a 1 in the comments, who has wonderful recipes that everyone loves, but is not written down? Boom, boom.
Womp, womp, womp.
So,
Our dry effects. Whatever, you get the point.
yes. How many times have you received compliments that you make the best potato salad, you make the best macaroni and cheese, you bake the best pound cakes, you bake the best um, lemon bars, or you have wonderful sweet treats, chocolatey treats, and things like that, but it's not written down any place. And we're not going to be here forever. So why not leave a legacy for your family to enjoy, right? Kind of morbid, but you know what I mean.
I mean, at the end of the day, everybody is going to transition. So it's definitely important. I know I remember growing up, my stepmom used to make me this coconut cake. And when I tell you, like, the coconut cake was delicious, I don't know what she did with this coconut cake. And I sat back and I was like, why did I start baking? Why is it so, like, important to me? Why did I pick culinary instead of baking when I have, like, great memories of baking and baking with her, and all of these things kept popping up in my mind. And now I'm like, as you say this, like, standard operating procedures, like, you need to let somebody know how to do this so that at least if you're gone and they want to get in the kitchen and make that happy memory again, they can be able to do that. So let us know what the standard operating procedures are, Tamara.
So, standard operating procedures, or SOPs, is a list of items, the ingredients, the temperature, the process of creating your favorite sweet treat. And also, I want to let you know that even if you're in business and you are running 1,000 of these torlitas that I do, I'm going to need some help and somebody to make sure that they know what they're doing. So if you write it down or have it in a video form, people can follow along, because there are so many steps besides putting a chip on a conveyor belt or a cookie sheet and sending it on its way. There's 1,000 steps in between buying the ingredients and packaging it for out the door, right? So
Right.
those standard operating procedures need to be in place if you want to scale your business or you have a bulk order or anything like that. Say, for instance, you're on vacation and and Oprah calls. I mean, what are you going to do? Yeah, I'm in Bora Bora, right? I'm flying back, let me just say that. But in the meantime, it needs to be some systems in place and some sort of ways that somebody can get the ball rolling until I get back. Okay. So, standard operating procedures are all the wonderful things, all the temperatures, all the ingredients, where you source your ingredients, how to get it, how to store it, what temperature to have it at, and all those good things from start to finish. So, I know all of us have it stored in our heads. We kind of like having it in our heads, so nobody really knows what we do, right? Wink, wink. So, but it's important to make sure that you have everything in place and all the intricacies that you know to do written down, or at least recorded via video, in order to make sure that that happens.
Right. And then not only that, people learn differently. So, like Tamala said, if you have it written in a written format, yeah, it is a recipe, but you also have some people who learn by video. They learn, they're very visual learners. They learn by seeing. And say you are going to get some, you're going to make some gluten and dairy free cookies. Now, you can just go get any specific type of, flour or dairy free butter, but you might want it to be like thin and crispy chocolate chip gluten free cookies. So you might want to, you got to know that you got to make the butter be in the freezer before you bake them in the oven, because you want the cookies to stay together more. Or it's just different things, different little techniques that you don't really get from anything except trial and error. So if you are a brand new person that's walking into the kitchen and that's just learning something and you looking at the recipe, oh my gosh, it can be so intimidating. I remember in culinary school, we had to do different classes. So I had like a world cuisine, or I had baking for a semester. And when I tell you it is two completely different worlds, from like cooking and baking, like I was like ready to give up even on some simple things. And once you start learning things from different cultures, then you have different spices and seasonings. And so we just want you guys to just think about that. Sit down and talk to your grandparents or your aunts or your uncles, or just, cooking is a very special bonding time that you can have with someone. I used to I used to be like, oh my goodness, like I gotta get these orders done. I gotta hurry up and hurry up. And then like my niece would be like, what are you doing? And she'll just be standing there watching me, or my daughter or my sons, and they're like, we want to help. And at first I was like, y'all don't really want to help. Y'all just want to eat the food, right? But the more the more that they see me doing it, I realize that they actually do want to help. They actually want to learn, those simple things, simple things that we do every day. We may take it for granted because we know how to do it, or it just comes easy to us. But people want to learn from you just because of who you are, just because of your presence, just because of how you speak to them. It can really change a person's atmosphere. And just having these standard operating procedures, say you might say, you know, this cake is gonna turn out gorgeous, just like you are. Some simple things, make people feel like they're involved and excited and hopeful to get the finished product. Like Tamala said, from beginning to end, the ingredients, the temperatures, the checking the oven, making sure you put things in the freezer and take them out. All those things matter. So when you see that ingredient, that recipe that somebody worked so hard for, don't skip steps, okay? The steps are for a reason. So if you need to roll a cookie dough out and it sit in the refrigerator for 30 minutes, don't skip it, especially you got different climates and all kinds of stuff. But those operating procedures are going to be so much of a resource, especially if you are even doing things um not related to food. For instance, our podcast, we have a standard operating procedure. We have, when we record, we have the topics we're going to record. We have the promotions that we're going to put out, the flyers, all kinds of things. And also, we're going to be teaching you them on June 30th, if you guys didn't know. We got another webinar coming out this month. So, June 30th at 6 o'clock. Just slid that in there. But, standard operating procedures are awesome. They help you set the goals and attain them and just continue to prosper and expand in your business and in your kitchen.
That. So thank you for mentioning the webinar coming up on June 30th at 6 o'clock in our Facebook group. And secondly, you hit on something also. There might be someone out there in the audience who doesn't have a recipe, but that doesn't mean that they can't have a standard operating procedures. If you have a service-based business, okay, instead of a product-based business, it goes the same. Like, where do you get your coffee? Where do you get your printing done? What mail system do you use? And what accounting system do you use? Who is your accountant? Okay, where do you bank? So these are things that people need to know. It's always so quick for us to do it because we do it. It's like, no, it's a no-brainer, right? We
Mhm.
know where we're going. We know what we're doing. It's kind of takes longer to tell somebody to do something instead of just doing it because we're so
Right.
used to just making sure it gets done. But if
Hmm.
you have, 50 clients at the door and they all due on the same day, do you not need help? I don't know about you, but I need some help. Okay.
Right, right,
I'm gonna need some help. All right. And it's good to make sure that you have a video and preferably if they have worked with you before, well, I will take that out. Even if people have worked with you 1,000 times, does not mean they're going to remember this time as
right,
they did last time. Because the gap might be, months or a year or whatever months in that gap, and you've been doing it every day but they did it last year this time. They're not going to
right.
remember. I don't care if they have helped you 1,000 times. It's good to have a reference point. Okay. We know nobody likes to read these days. Okay. We know
And
it, but it's good to even have it written down because I'm still one of those people like to, turn the page and highlight and write in the corners of things. But, it's also great to have video. We said that
right.
before and pictures when you writing it out. It's good to have the pictures to accompany what you're doing because you just never know that you're going to need it. It's definitely going to be a useful tool for your business.
Yeah, and one other key thing that you said, taking the time for somebody to relearn the process. Like, I don't know if you guys ever had like a child that you were trying to teach something like to tie their shoes or to the standard operating procedures for like going to the bathroom and washing hands and just little things like this. We're constantly teaching, we're constantly learning. When we have to take extra time for the people that are on a new, learning curve. You might have to start 3 or 4 days ahead of time just because you might have to pay them a little extra for showing showing up.
Right.
But it's gonna be worth it when you're not there by yourself and you can't because we simply can't do everything by ourselves at all times. So I think this is a great conversation. I think this is a great topic. Anybody service based business, product based business, we all have standard operating procedures. Slowing down, going through our day, taking the time to actually write down what we do is going to be big for expanding your business and your growth on all platforms. Life, treats, business, everything.
Yes, and I think we're going to add a video here so you can see what an actual standard operating procedure looks like and maybe have it, filled out. So we'll make sure that we include a video right now. So take a look and we'll be back. So here's a template for your standard operating procedures, and you can add your company name or you can have your logo here. And this is just an instruction for you. Use this template to construct standard operating procedures or SOPs to organize your business activities. And I will say this, you can have a product or a service. So let's just say we're going to make the best ever chocolate chip cookies, okay? So you put the title here, chip cookies, the date,
which is, we'll just say, we'll put today's date, 01, excuse me, 06, 01, 2022. And then if you have a revision, you have to add the revision date here if there's any updates in the future. And this can be, definitely start another template, or you can go on and on with revisions, however way you want to lay it out. Okay. This is just our version created by, we'll just put 5T as Tamla and Taylor's Treat Talk Tuesday. And here you're going to talk about kind of like maybe some tips or anything like that you want to say about the best chocolate chip cookies. Be sure, get your ingredients, get the ingredients, if I can type, from the best store in town. Ask for, let's say, Tamla, since I'm doing that. Ask for Tamla at the counter. So these are just some things that you probably want to know. Maybe it's a special dish, maybe it's a special spatula, or whatever. Just kind of give an overview of the summary. And here are the details, okay? You might want to get something like almond flour. You might want to get white chocolate instead of maybe chocolate, milk chocolate. Or what have you, okay? Whatever your details are there. And so for step 1, okay, we're just going to say add flour to bowl, add dry ingredients, okay, and next step would be step 2, add beaten eggs, okay, add milk, add all wet ingredients, okay, and then we go down to step 3, mix together, mix all ingredients, okay. Step 4, heat oven. Maybe that's, you can warm it up in step 1 or whatever. We're just giving this as an example. To 375 oven, heat oven to, we'll just say 350. That's the general degrees for people, right? 350, all right? And here, step 5, use number 2 scoop to add cookie dough to cookie sheet, okay? And then you might have your own instructions in here as far as how many to place on the cookie sheet, how far apart, place them 2 inches apart, place them 4 inches apart, or what have you. This is the time that you need to make those types of details on this standard operating procedure, okay? So we can go down here, overview, make sure to set timer, okay? Let me get this off the screen. Make sure to set timer for 12.30 minutes. If that's the way that your oven is set up or what have you, or that's what you get for your best cookies, okay? 12:30, not 0.30, it's Okay. So whatever the overview is for your special cookies, add topping to cookies when warm, or what have you. Okay. This is just what you're going to do with your standard operating procedures. Related checklist. If there's a check off list that you want to add those notes here. What are some frequently asked questions? Let's say, for instance, you wanted to add caramel to your cookies. Caramel should be at whatever degrees. We'll just say 300 degrees before adding to cookie mixture or something like that. Okay, you get the idea. So after that, you're done. You file it. You put it in a space where everyone can see it. All the workers, everyone who's going to be making these cookies, can see where the instructions are. Okay, and update this. I only put it. Let me say this. I'd only put if there's a different type of cookie. I'd say the best banana bread cookies or the best sugar cookies. I'd have every recipe separate. Okay, so there is no confusion. No one's like, oh, wait, I thought this was there or this was here. It's going to be plain and simple. And I would suggest that you just record yourself and then write down all the little things that you do, even the tiniest of things that you do. Like, oh, it's a no-brainer. I just do it like, a knee-jerk reaction. So hopefully this was helpful. Create your standard operating procedures for your company.
We're back.
We're back. So we're back. So hopefully that was something that you were able to see how it is done, and maybe we can give you a template. So let me know in the comments. Put a 5 in the template, or excuse me, put a 5 in the comments if you would like a template of the standard operating procedures, and maybe, just maybe, we'll make sure that you get one.
Yes. And with that being said, don't hesitate to like, to share, to comment on this video, no matter if people are in the industry of treats. We talk about treats, business, and life. And so, yeah, let us know if you want the template. Check out the webinar on June 30th. You will be able to sign up down in the description below. And we just hope that you have like an amazing week. Like, don't let nobody stop you from having the best week ever. All right. I'm Taylor with Taylor's Kitchen, located in Albion, Michigan, where we make custom sweet treats for your special occasions. I can be found on all social media platforms at Sweet Spirit Treats.
And I am Tamla, owner of Tortelitas for that sweet and crunchy taste. Find me on Instagram or Facebook at Tortelitas. That's T as in Tuesday, ORLITAS. And we look forward to seeing you on next week. Peace.
Bye. Have a blessed week, guys.